Hey guys, Keith here with Parts Counter Gurus, and man, have we got a surprise treat for you guys today. So we are at Yellowstone National Park. Well, I am, you're not. And we got to ride on the driverless shuttle bus system. It's called T.E.D.D.Y. T.E.D.D.Y's an acronym. Keep watching, we'll tell you what that means in a few minutes. But we got to take a ride on this thing, and I filmed it. We're gonna show you that. We're gonna show you what it looks like. We're gonna talk a little bit about how it works, and that's all coming up right after this. All right, so first things first, this is a free shuttle ride. It doesn't cost anything. You do have to wear a mask on the shuttle. They do provide those if you don't have one. The shuttle can hold about 8 people at a time. And you can pick this shuttle up in the Canyon Village Visitor Center area. They call it Visitor Services. That's a pretty central area in the park. It sits kind of between the upper loop and the lower loop. And all of the stops on this shuttle are in that same area. It just takes you just kind of around that area, so not too far at all. The T.E.D.D.Y runs 7 days a week, but it does not run all day. And the reason for that is because they do have to stop for several hours at a time to recharge it. So the running times right now are from 7 to 10 a.m., from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m., and from 6 to 9 p.m., and that's local time, which is mountain time. At this point, it's just a test pilot program that the park is running, and it's just going to run throughout the summer. But this is a big deal, and it has the potential to be something that will change the way people visit this park forever. Right now, in Yellowstone, there are huge delays with traffic almost every day. Sometimes it adds hours to your commute in the park. It's a problem, and that's putting it lightly. Now, if by comparison you look at Zion National Park, they don't allow vehicles to drive through the park unless you are staying at one of the lodges on property. So they have a shuttle service, which is buses that run through Zion. The potential here is to do something like that, but a much more modern version. Could also be a change in the impact that traffic has in the park. So, you know, you have to go to certain areas to have a higher probability of viewing wildlife right now. Bison are everywhere, but to get some of the more difficult to see wildlife, because of the traffic, it does make it a little bit trickier. So it could have an impact on that. Obviously, all the vehicles idling in the park, it's not great. So this would potentially help reduce emissions in the park. Some of the challenges, though, that they're going to have is there are so many great pullouts in Yellowstone. And you can, for example, be driving down the road and see something great that is just kind of a natural occurrence. And there'll be a pullout, usually they can be every quarter mile. Sometimes they're a little bit further apart. But they're going to have work out a system where these shuttles would be able to stop more frequently than just an A and B location, you know, like visitor center to visitor center. So that's one of the main challenges that they're going to have to work out right now. The other one is range. This is a gigantic park, and those shuttles have to be able to traverse a pretty good distance. Nobody's going to want to have to change shuttles 3 times to get halfway across the park.
To get the QR code.
All right, so let's talk about ride for just a minute. So you can hear right there that they are a little bit noisy on the outside. They're pretty noisy on the inside also, especially when the air conditioning is running in there. And yes, they do have air conditioning. It's a little bit of a rough ride in the sense that the stops and starts are kind of harsh. Obstacle avoidance is pretty good. You can see there in that previous clip, there were some people crossing in front of it. That was not at a crosswalk, and it does just stop on its own. Now, there is always an operator at the ready. You can see that Jeep just pulled in front of it, and it'll slow down a little bit. The operator is always kind of hands-on buttons to make sure, just in case the equipment doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that they can implement an override. While you're riding, they have two video monitors at the front side of the vehicle and at the back side of the vehicle, so whichever way you're facing, you can see them. And it's a ranger guided little talk that kind of just tells you about the vehicle and what they're trying to accomplish. Kind of just gives you something to check out while you're riding. Although it's pretty fascinating to just experience this on its own without any kind of explanation. Also, they are wheelchair accessible. There's a load ramp in the back, and you can see they have anchor points there on the floors to secure down to if you ride on. There's the back area there where you can load up. You can see here the operator's GUI interface system. This is actually kind of similar to what we experienced in Vegas with the self-driving Lyft and Uber cars. They do show obstacle avoidance, they have radar, they have obstacle detection, and then the pre-programmed routes are also in that interface. And they can do a lot of controlling of the vehicle just with that touchscreen. And you can see there it actually caught that stop sign and made a full stop. And we're rolling. And this actually was a nice little unplanned test here. We got a guy, it's parked in the middle of the road, having a little chat with his buddies, completely unaware. And of course, the vehicle senses this, picks up that there's an obstacle blocking, and stops. And the operator steps in and takes over and is able to navigate around him. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I've mentioned this yet. T.E.D.D.Y stands for the Electric Driverless Demonstration in Yellowstone. So it's an acronym there. It is not fully driverless. None of these things ever are. You know, there's an operator standing there just in case. It does do a good job on its own, though. And speaking of on its own, I'll give you a little shot of this. It was kind of hilarious. So they're backing up to charge, and the operator has to do this on their own. And it takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit of a process. The thing does not do a good job of backing itself up. And there's no traditional steering wheel. All right, everybody, that just about wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more information on the T.E.D.D.Y, check the description in the video below, and we'll put that info for you. Also, don't forget to check out our website at partscounterguru.com, and please remember to ring that bell, click that bell, whatever your flavor is, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Alright, everybody, that just about wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And raise the roof. What does that mean?
Louder. This is so cool. Why do they keep doing this? This is mean. This is mean.